Pleased to be joined on Trading Nation by Byron Wien, Vice Chairman of Blackstone's Private Wealth Solutions Group. Byron, it's always a pleasure to have you on and get your insight. Thank you for joining us.
It's always good to be here with you, Brian.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of people have been looking for, calling for, hoping for a correction. I was thinking about it the other day and I realized a correction, which is technically a 10% drop from the highs, would be 2,400 points on the Dow. It just seems like an incredibly large number. Do you really believe there is any chance of a true correction happening in the stock market anytime soon?
Oh, yeah, I think it, a 10% correction could come along at any time, and particularly when the market has done as well as it's done. I mean, basically, it's gone straight up since Donald Trump was elected.
Yeah, and we in the media have had to learn the hard lesson about percentages and large numbers. I mean, it used to be a 100-point move on the Dow was kind of a big deal. Now you've got to remind yourself, you're talking about a couple of tenths of a percent. It's not that big of a deal. So if we get a down day, who knows, of 300, 500 points on the Dow, it wouldn't be that big of a percentage. Would that be a day that you would think would start something real? We really haven't had that.
Well, I don't know what, on a single day. All I know is the fundamentals are very strong, but at the same time, the market is overbought, and investors are optimistic. They're not euphoric yet, but they're optimistic. So an overbought market with optimistic investors is vulnerable. And the question is, what triggers the vulnerability? That's always hard to identify. I mean, a geopolitical incident, something with North Korea, with Russia, that could do it. Something in the Middle East that causes the price of oil to rise. That could be the trigger. But maybe you don't need a trigger. Maybe the market just spontaneously begins to fade. In any case, I agree, it's vulnerable to a 10% correction. But we've been looking for a 10% correction all year. And here it is December, and we haven't had one.
Well, and don't beat yourself up about it, Byron, because we've had a lot of people on CNBC that have been looking for the same thing. They're a little bit shocked. In fact, Bank of America Merrill Lynch had a note yesterday that if the equity markets outpace bonds this year like they look like they will do, it'll be the 7th straight year that's happened, which would be the first time that's happened since 1928. Now, when I hear comparisons to 28 and I see the bullishness levels, it's hard to not be at least a little nervous, no?
Sure, but people have been a little nervous all year, and that's why the market keeps going up. Market keeps going up to defy those people who are apprehensive.
What would be the catalyst? You sort of seem to imply in your last answer that it would just be a Neil Young, not burning out, but just kind of fading away. You think there's going to be a day where people just realize, hey, for the moment, we've made enough money. A lot of tech has got extreme valuations. Let's just go back to the sidelines and wait it out. Or will it be an exogenous event?
I think it's more likely to be an exogenous event.
Such as?
Such as North Korea doing something that endangers world stability.
If you and when you speak with your clients, with your team at Blackstone, you guys, you get paid to worry. I'm sure you talk about the biggest risks. Someone said to you, Byron Wien, what's the biggest risk right now? Would the answer be North Korea?
I would say the biggest risk right now is North Korea.
What about the Fed? What about global deleveraging? What about quantitative tightening? What about higher rates?
Higher rates are a risk. Flattening or inversion of the yield curve is a clear risk. But even if that were to occur relatively soon, it might not kick into the market right away.
Is technology still a good deal? We spoke a couple of months ago. You said you liked Apple, a couple of other big cap techs. Do you still?
I do, but I think they'd be vulnerable to a correction. But I'm still positive on companies with open-ended earnings, and the technology and biotechnology sector has examples of that.
Do you think at all about Bitcoin? I'm sure it comes up with your clients. Have you guys invested in it?
No, and I think a lot about it because I get asked about it, but I'm not a believer.
Why not?
I just think a currency should be tied to a sovereign government. I just don't think I have been sold on the idea of cryptocurrencies. There could be 100 of them, not just one of them.
You're not a hater. You just tend to ignore it, or do you think it will, or you think it's a
Look,
bubble like Jamie Dimon has
I see myself
suggested?
as either a Philistine or a dinosaur, but I just don't think my mental capacity is able to absorb the values in Bitcoin.
Yeah, and at 13,000 as we record this right now, up 12% on sort of on a random day. Byron Wien, Vice Chairman of Blackstone's Private Wealth Solutions Group. Fascinating stuff as always, Byron. Don't be a stranger. Have a happy holidays. We hope to chat with you again soon, sir.
Yeah, have a good new year, Brian.
Thank you. You too. And
Bye.
thank you, folks, as always, for watching Trading Nation.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.